Yeah, it's good, man. Yeah, we got to kind of turn and burn because we got to get to the airport within what, an hour or two, hour and a half or something?
I think 2 hours.
2 hours? Yeah. All right. But bro, dude, thank you so much for coming up. It's crazy. Like, we have been talking back and forth here on and off for years about making this happen. And then it finally did. And that was the coolest fucking day ever, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you very much. First, thanks for the invitation. So after so long, I think it's been literally 12 years, right?
Yeah.
Since we met, and it's been such a great ride. Everything that happened in my life with your life, so many changes, and now we're here again on the mat. So it's really cool, and I'm so happy to see the gym and everything that you built. Not just the gym itself, because like you said, there's a lot of metal and land, but the people, the group of people, the vibe, the family environment that you have in the gym, it's amazing. So everyone feels welcome. So it's amazing, man. Congrats for the group of people that you have and everything that you built.
Well, bro, it's like I said too when we before we started. Like, I did jiu-jitsu before I met you. I was a brown belt before I met you and joined Checkmat and met Joao and all the guys. And not to take anything away from like where I came from, but you guys down in California just had a different vibe, different energy. Like, you trained super hard, but everybody was always having fun and smiling. And it just, but also simultaneously, like, dude, we're here to kill each other too. Yeah. You know? And dude, that Southern California jiu-jitsu vibe in like 2011, 2012, 2013, being with you guys was something that like changed the trajectory of the rest of my life. And I honestly don't think I could have this place and have it be what it is without being under you guys for those 5 years, you know? So it's like, it's crazy how, you told me, I forget, it was years ago, but you're like, man, jiu-jitsu gave me everything. It gave me my life. It gave me my freedom. It gave me my ability to travel and kind of choose the life I want to live. And even though I didn't do it through competition like you did, now I'm there, dude. Because of the jiu-jitsu lifestyle vibe that like I started to learn through you guys. So thank you for that, man.
Oh man, I know exactly what you mean, because it was the same for me. California was like, I think, the best time of my life. Those years that you mentioned, it was great because it was exactly what you said. We try to kill each other after the train. Hey, let's have something to eat. Everybody goes together. So everybody was going after something. Like, most of the guys were competing, and it was the perfect environment to be around, because of course some of you guys, like you, working, and jiu-jitsu was the side, like the second thing, but most of us was the first, so I didn't have like any plan B. I put all my chips on plan A, and I hope it works, but it did. So it was great. Just like you said, it's jiu-jitsu. I remember like having this conversation with you a long time ago. It gave me everything, and I like the biggest idols that I had in my career became friends. Mm-hmm. Like BJ Penn, Kelly Slater, that like Minotauro, Rodrigo Nogueira, all these guys that I grew up watching on TV. Many years later, these guys are my friends, like because of the sport. Man, I grew up watching North Shore, the movie in about Hawaii, surfing.
Yeah.
And then now, man, I feel like I'm better treated in Hawaii than in my hometown. You know what I mean? So stuff like that, I never thought would be possible. And because of the sport, everything happened, and everything now is possible. What back in the day for me was something impossible, like so distant, like so far away. Now it's common for me,
Yeah. So bro, like, I know most of your story just because we've known each other so long, but for people that are just tuning in, people love jiu-jitsu episodes. People love hearing about jiu-jitsu guys and jiu-jitsu life because it Like you even said to me, it was second to you. You worked, but jiu-jitsu was second to you. Jiu-jitsu is second to most people, but it still changes their life, you know? So a lot of people listen that want to hear and learn about jiu-jitsu guys. I just want to go back to the beginning and like tell your story, man. Like where you came from, what got you into jiu-jitsu, what brought you to California, and then that's about when I hopped on board and got to see your meteoric rise to multiple time world champion and then into MMA and stuff. And it's just tell the story, man, because it's a powerful story.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like I said, jiu-jitsu for you was second plan. It was. Nowadays, it's
Now,
first.
yeah, now it's first.
So
And life, I tell you, life is so much better.
yeah. So like you say, life happened and then became first.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to see. And like if I would like have to bet, I never would bet that would have this turn out your life.
I know,
like,
right?
Like living law enforcement, like let's say a secure job, right?
Yep.
To start teaching jiu-jitsu full time. So if you like, even you back in the day wouldn't like, okay, I'm never gonna do that, and then here we are today. So it's amazing, man. So plan A.
Plan
That's
A,
it,
dude.
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, but talking about my story, like you ask, long story short,
Or long story long. We got an hour or so.
oh yeah. So, but my name is Marcus Almeida. So I got this nickname Buchecha because of like when I was younger, got like chubby cheeks. So Buchecha means cheeks in Portuguese. And back in the day, we have like a soap opera in Brazil that was really popular. Like I remember like every teenager used to watch that, including me, my sister, and everyone that we knew. And back in the day, the soap opera, the main guy was like a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He was teaching in a school, something like that. My sister thought that was really cool. I was watching too, but she decided she wanted to start Jiu-Jitsu out of nowhere. I mean, not nowhere, but just because of the TV show. And then she did. She found a gym, like 10 minutes walking from our house, and she started training. My dad didn't really like the idea because she was the only girl in the gym, her and one more girl older.
How old was she at the time?
15.
Okay.
15 years old. I was 12. And then my dad started like, oh no, I want to try that too. He didn't want to try, but he was going after like just to watch her. And I remember he used to do the classes in t-shirts and short trunks. And a couple weeks after, he decided to buy a gi because he was doing a workout and he was sweating and he was like doing some like physical activity and he kind of like enjoy. And they both like pushed me, oh, you should start too, you should try. And then I said, you know what, 12 years old, like I just went to hang out because I used to like to hang out with my dad and my sister at the same time. And that's how I got into the gym for the first time. My sister, she stopped. She got a boyfriend at the time, and the guy kind of jealous, didn't really understand the sport, and they used to like fight a lot because of that. And then she stopped going, and me and my dad, we kept going. After a long time, like after a couple of years, 2010, we got the black belt together. So it was something really cool.
Bro, isn't it weird how life, like, your sister's watching a TV show, and then you and your dad become black belts together because of that? Because if she never made that step, who knows, your whole life could be different.
Yeah. You know what's funny, man? One day, I didn't even knew the reason that why she started. And then I decided to do like a move about my life, right? I don't know if you watch it.
I did watch. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
it's on Flow Grappling too, right?
No. I did one myself. I was the executive director. So I did. So it's like Buchecha Way Beyond World Records, the name.
Okay.
So if you have opportunity to watch it, it's great. So in this documentary, the team went to Brazil to film with my family, but I wasn't. So after watching it, I saw the reason. She told the reason that I knew she started, but I didn't know why. So like I just found out a couple, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. She said it was because of the TV show. I said, oh my God, I had no idea. And then I did like a podcast and I was talking about this story, the reason that why she started. Because before, my sister started, but I didn't know why.
Yeah.
And I told about the story. And a funny story, the guy, the actor, it's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt nowadays, and he saw that. And he even posted, yeah. So
he has as a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, he's probably a fan of yours.
Yeah.
Come to find out, he kind of had a role in motivating you to start.
For sure.
That's
so
cool, man.
That's funny, and he kind of like posted or something, and he commented on the video. I said, oh man, that's nice. The actor like talking about, so
he's probably old school guy now.
Yeah, he's older now. Back in the day, he was like really young because it was like a young TV show, but now he's like older, but he's like legit black belt, not just for the show.
Yeah.
And that was like, I started, but I jumped for the black belt. But when I was young, I decided I want to compete, but wasn't really like, I mean, when I was 12 years old, until 15 years old, I didn't really like fell in love for the sport. I was going a lot because my dad was buying me with like, oh, let's go. And I knew if like I would ask anything, he would give me, like, hey dad, I want to eat like pizza. Hey, I want to eat cheeseburger. And he would buy, but he never did. But once I was going to Jiu-Jitsu, he was like kind of like spoiled me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a way he could kind of motivate you to train.
Yeah, exactly. So I knew I could ask for things like that. So I used to go because of this.
I'm going to try that with my middle daughter.
Yeah, maybe works, spoil a little bit. So I remember like, hey, can I have a cheese bread? Can I have like a cocoa? So like, but I remember something clicked when I was 15 years old. And between this time, 12 years old to 15, I was between surfing and jiu-jitsu. So surfing, I was like having like good time, going to the beach, ditching classes in school to go to the beach. So wasn't like, kind of like nicer to do it because I could do by myself, and jiu-jitsu you had to go there this like 6 p.m. and need partners. So surfing was kind of like you get your board and go to the beach anytime. So I was enjoying more. But I remember,
what city was this in?
São Vicente.
Okay.
It's like state of São Paulo in Brazil. And man, I remember I was 15 years old. My friends were coming back from the World Championship. It was Monday. The World Championship was like the weekend. And some guys got silver medal and some guys got like other medals. So I remember like my professor at the time, his name is Teco Shinzato. He was like, hey, you guys, tell what you guys think about the competition, tell your story, tell your feelings. And I remember one of the guys was like, hey, man, I got the like silver medal, but I would change everything that I got, I would change all the gold medals that I have just to have one gold medal, this one. So that felt like, man, why he would like switch all the medals that he had because of one, So it was something that kind of clicked me. And like, why? I want to feel that. Why he's saying that he would switch like 10 medals because of one? So it kind of made me curious to have this competition feeling. And after that day, after the Worlds 2005, something clicked and I started training every single day and I decided I want to be a competitor.
And that's when Worlds was still down there, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't remember when Worlds started. I think it was 2007. In California. So 2005, I think.
Who were the big names back then? Was that like Terere and or was that even after that?
Now, I remember like Terere was like a huge name. Roger Gracie, Ronaldo Jacaré, Marcelo Garcia. 2004 was the famous words that Roger broke Jacaré's arm.
Yeah.
That was 2004. 2005, and Terere fought the ultra heavyweight division
with Fabricio Verdun.
So it was really a remarkable fight. And then 2005, Jacare beat Roger again, and that was the year.
That was the year. Okay.
Yeah, and the one that tereré dancing and the whole crowd singing his name.
Yeah, dude, I remember one day at practice you said, if you don't know tereré, you don't know jiu-jitsu. And I was like, I better go home and Google this guy. And then remember, I worked with the feds to try and help him out with his case.
You bring his file, like I remember read the file. I'm not supposed to have like to read it. Oh my god! Like
they weren't willing to work with us, though, man. That never happened.
Yeah, I mean,
hey,
his situation was a little bit delicate, right? Yeah, but he is one of the biggest legends of the sport. It's sad that story that happened with him. He had like the mental issue.
Yeah.
And when
he got in like a fight on an airplane or something.
Yeah, no.
And after 9/11, there was like a zero tolerance for that kind of stuff.
No, but I mean, schizophrenia, like the name of the mental issue. I forgot the name.
Is it schizophrenia?
Yeah, okay. Exactly. So, but once he has this, he always used drugs, and the drugs make worse, and that's how he got where he is today. You know, it's sad because he's one of the biggest ever to do it, but still in this situation. So it's sad.
Yeah, because I feel like when jiu-jitsu kind of blew up, it was like Roger Gracie and Marcelo Garcia and Fabricio Verdum. Those became like household names, at least in jiu-jitsu people's lives. But Tereré was like the generation before that. He was beating those guys.
Yeah, and he was the guy from the hoods, the guy from the favela.
Yeah.
So he had the different, like, he has the swag, you know, the different, like, so he was like...
I mean, he'd like clap his hands and rub them together, move back and forth.
Like the ghetto style, you know, like dancing, fighting. Everybody was so serious, and he was like dancing, teasing. He was like the one that started doing this kind of like this ghetto style of fighting and like being really smart, and it was
cool, man.
Yeah, it was. He changed like the game with the style, and he used to train a lot with Leo too, my master, Leo Vieira. So they used to train. He used to train
our master.
Our master. So he used to train under Leo a lot. So a lot of his game is like because of Leo.
Yeah.
So that was 2005, the year that I decided we started. And between 2005 and 2007, I remember like I decided to compete, and I fought a lot. But my first 10 competitions, I lost in the very first round. So I took a while for me to find out what was the feeling to have my arm raised after like a fight. And I was willing to feel that for so long, and it was being so hard. But I think the reason that I didn't quit because like I lost for this guy. Oh yeah, but this guy ended up winning the whole thing. Then in the next tournament, I lose first round, but the guy ended up winning the whole thing. So
you're just drawing the toughest fight by chance, kind of, huh?
I mean, I didn't know. Yeah. Maybe. So I think that's why I kept going. Like, man, I want to try again. But I remember one of the tournaments, I still remember the day. The name, it was like Copa Dragão. Like, it was a small tournament. I was feeling, I was really good in training. So I lost 9 tournaments in a row. So I had a little bit of experience. So I was fighting this guy. This guy is really strong. I mean, I was 17 years old, but the guy was like 17, but like stronger, way stronger than me. I did a triangle, was really tight. I don't know why I switched to armbar. The guy passed my guard last minute, and I lost the fight. I'm not the kind of guy that cries when I lose. I don't cry when I lose. But this one was painful, and I was crying a lot. I went to the stands and started like crying, and I told my professor, Teco, Tech, I'm suck. Jiu-Jitsu is not for me. I just not gonna do it anymore. I'm suck. I still remember what he told me. He said, okay, you can be the weak one and give up, or you can show up Monday in the gym and train harder. So it's up to you. But he said that like out loud.
Yeah.
And I mean, everybody here, everybody heard that was around us. And in my head, like, I don't want to be the quitter, the weak one who gave up. So in my head, like, I'm gonna show up Monday, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna train, but I don't want this anymore.
Yeah. Well, bro, I think it's important to tell people, because I actually get out. A lot of people will ask me, like, do you think I should compete? You know? And I've never been a very good competitor. I had a couple tournaments where I felt like everything was clicking and I did well. I won the Seattle Open when IBJJF came up here. And that was like my proudest moment, right? But I tell people, like, dude, who you are in the gym and who you are in competition, it's very different.
Yeah, no, but
and so, like, it sounds like right out of the gates, you had to learn that lesson.
Yeah, no, for sure.
know?
But like I was saying, like, I lost and I decided to go to the gym just to not say that I was the quitter, but I didn't want to compete anymore. But I was in the gym, I was laughing, I was with my friends, so I like the gym environment. So I just kept going, but I just forgot about competition. But the first competition that showed up was like an in-house tournament, and of course I signed up, but wasn't like, oh, I want to compete. I remember I won the first fight ever. I won. Then I went to the final. It was the only 2 fights. Then I was 17 years old. I fought a guy 35, but the guy was like a man, right?
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I did a really good, like, sweep, like a tornado guard sweep. We call it helicopter back in the day. And I finished on top. Then I got his back. Then I choked him. Then I won the tournament. Man, the joy that I had that day, it's compared to the same joy that I had when I won like a black belt world title.
Wow.
So it's something that I never forgot. I was so happy, but it was a big lesson because I didn't give up. I didn't quit. And then everything changed. And like,
because you're what at this point? Blue belt?
Blue belt okay. Juvenile, 17 years old.
Yeah.
But like, I lost like 10 tournaments, you know what I mean? After winning the first fight. So in the first fight that I won, I ended up winning the whole thing. So it was amazing. And after that, I started winning, and I became like a kind of big name. But to win the first one took a while. So I think competition, maybe it's not for everyone, but doesn't matter who you are. When you compete, it doesn't matter if you're a powerful man, if you're like nobody cares, you know. It's you and your opponent, and you don't know how he is, you don't know how good he is, and you really putting yourself in test. So that's amazing. You see, Mark Zuckerberg, one of the powerful men in the world.
Yeah.
But he likes to compete. He's addicted because he can't control what's going to happen. So that's the beauty of the competition. Doesn't matter who you are. You go there and you're going to test yourself. And your opponent doesn't really care who you are. He's just going there.
Yeah, you're a billionaire. I'm still going to fucking strangle you.
Exactly. Maybe giving him like an extra motivation. So, but that's the thing. And people likes because some of the chicks, they go to compete too because of that. You know what I mean? So they just give like a regular name. They don't say who they are and go to compete, because I know one that did that and won like Europeans.
Dang.
So it was like something that I tell people, like, of course, competition, maybe you're not going to be like a high class competitor, but it teaches you a lot. You're going to find that, like, you're going to know yourself a little bit better, because you're going to see how you react under pressure. If you keep cool, if you freak out, and maybe you're going to enjoy, maybe not. Even like Saint-Pierre, he used to say, man, I used to hate the feeling of the pre-competition. I feel like anxious. I feel like I'm going to die. But after the fight, the feeling, it's like amazing. So,
yeah.
And you want to feel that. You don't want to feel the pre-fight, but after the fight, it makes everything worth.
Well, dude, and even losing, like, at least in my experience, because when I've lost competitions, I don't really have anything on the line like you do, like a reputation or sponsors or anything. And even when you lose, it usually motivates you to want to be better. So it's like if you win, you're happy and you want to get back in the gym. And if you lose, you're like, fuck, man, I need to get better. So either way, I find like Monday morning, you want to be back in the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's good. Like,
Man, I won so much back-to-back titles. And I think because one thing that, of course, I win the weekend, then I take 1 week off because you saw after a world championship, I was sore for like a month because not just because of the fights, but the tension and the adrenaline and the everything. So yeah, I was sore for like a month, you know. And once I get back to the gym, okay, cool, I won, but you know, that fight, the guy took me down. That fight, the guy swept me. That guy passed my guard. So, and I had this feeling that I lost. Not I lost, but the mistakes. I tried to
deficiencies.
Yeah, exactly. And then I work on that because a lot of people, oh no, I won, I'm comfortable, so I don't need to work on anything. I'm just gonna keep doing the same thing. So I never had this in my head. So no, I could have done that better. So that guy found this mistake. So I always went to the gym with this feeling of trying to get better. So, you know, after the words, I was teaching. So
yeah,
I win Sunday. Tuesday night, I was in the gym. So, okay, let's go. Let's roll. Then I was rolling like without rest.
So did you win worlds as blue belt then? Or
I won as blue belt, but back in the day, 2008 actually was the first year that they came to California.
okay.
So 2008, I didn't have money and I didn't have visa, so no way to compete the worlds. So 2008, I fought the Brazil, another federation. So they have like a world championship in Brazil.
Got it.
Like another federation. So I fought 2008 there. Man, I remember I did 12 fights to win double gold.
That's gnarly, dude.
That was crazy. And
is that in 2 days or 1 day?
1 day. I mean, the competition is a couple of days, but
blue belt, but your
yeah,
brackets were 1 day.
Exactly, 1 day. And then 2009, I was purple belt. Then was like after a lot of struggle, like trying to raise money, and my visa got denied. I tried again, I got it. And I went 2009 for the first time to California, and I won double gold.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Then 2010, double gold. 2011, as my debut as black belt, I lost in the final, ref decision. And that was like painful. And I got...
And was that Rodolfo?
I lost to Rodolfo in the open weight.
Okay.
Then I lost to Leo Nogueira.
Oh,
In my super heavyweight. Like, remember that I told you I never cry?
Yeah.
That fight as blue belt, I cried. And that fight against Leo Nogueira, the final, I cried too. I remember the fights that I cried. And that was really painful because I was like a lot of on the line, because as soon as I got I won in 2010.
At brown belt, right?
At brown belt.
Okay.
And I got my black belt in the podium. So I went back to Brazil. 1 month later, my professor at the time had like a opportunity to open like a gym in Florida, and I moved to Florida.
Were you with Cavaca by then?
Yeah, it was Cavaca. And Cavaca found the opportunity to open a gym in Florida. And Rafael Chaves, he was teaching at this place. It's called Armory back in the day. So they had one gym that Rafael used to teach. Then Edson Barboza was there, that fights in UFC now.
Yeah, I remember he trained with us at UTC one time.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and I'll never forget it because he said, "Man, your guys are tough." I was like, a UFC fighter said we were tough, you know?
Like in a tough one, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then they opened like a new second school, and I was supposed to teach in that school. You know what I mean? And
also in Florida?
Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like Rafael Chaves used to teach in Jupiter, and they opened like a affiliation in Wellington, like half hour away. And then me and Marlon Moraes.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
We went to teach in that school. That's when I met Marlon, you know. And I was...
he was Novignon, right?
Yeah, in Brazil, and then he moved to Florida because he wanted to be an MMA fighter.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
he was teaching Muay Thai in the place, and I was teaching Jiu Jitsu. But I stayed like from mid 2010 to mid 2011 in Florida. But it was really hard because I didn't have like training partners. So I felt my Jiu Jitsu going down, and I felt like I was living somebody else's dream, not mine. I was teaching the school. I was putting like a lot of effort, and
But you're 20 years old at this point,
exactly
right? You need to be building you still.
that wasn't my dream to have.
Yeah.
Like, if it was my dream, okay, but I was putting like a lot of students in the gym, working hard every day, but like that wasn't in my jiu-jitsu going down, and I decided like that's not my dream. I'm living somebody else's dream. Like, I'm done. And I remember I went to World Pro to compete, and I saw Rodolfo killing everyone. 2011, he's just like passed through everyone.
Bro, there was nothing like that at the time.
No, and
Like 0 points scored against him and submitting everybody.
everybody. And I saw that. I said, man, I need to do like this guy. He lives with his parents. He doesn't do anything. He just train. He doesn't teach. So I think I need to. And I was sad because I lost in the final. I lost to Lagarto, and I decided to leave like everything behind, to leave Florida after 1 year of teaching, and I just moved back to Brazil 1 month before of 2011 competition, the Worlds. And I went to Brazil. I trained hard for 1 month. Then I went back to America to compete, and I lost in the final. So like, oh my God, like I did everything, but it wasn't worth, So then I left the
That was 2011 Worlds.
yeah.
Okay.
So I quit the place in Florida. So I had a big opportunity to live in America. So I was living my life. Okay, it wasn't my dream, but at least I was like independent, like financially. And now I didn't win. So, oh my God, did I do the right choice? Like, and now, then I see myself living again with my parents, asking for money to go out and teaching for like the whole month to win like $100. That was kind of like that. And I don't know if I got depressed or anything, because but I was sad. I didn't want to leave the room, and I was like, man, I regret so bad. I should have stayed in Florida. So why did I quit? So that's why it was painful when I lost in 2011. You know what I mean? So that was the reason that I cry. And after that, I thought, oh my God, maybe I did like the stupid choice ever of my life. But everything happens for a reason. And
So then what was the catalyst to come to California?
yeah, that's exactly the story now. So I was in Brazil after the Worlds. I lost. I decided to fight like small tournaments. They used to pay like a couple grand, but I mean reais. I remember I fought like 2 or 3 tournaments, and one I won, the other one I lost. Like really small tournaments, and I lost, and I got submitted. And damn, that was like, I was so good. Now I'm being submitted. It's like local tournaments, and then I remember the one submission tournament show up in New York. The guy called me, offered me to fight in New York. He's gonna pay tickets and he's gonna pay everything. Man, for me to fly to America was like hard. And the guy was offering me to pay like a trip to go to New York. So I said, oh yeah, I'm going. What's the deal? Oh yeah, it's 10 grand for the winner, but whoever gets the submission gets like $1,000. So come on, man. Like I get at least one submission. I went with this in my head. I didn't even think about winning, because just tough guys on the bracket. Who ended up winning was the one was André Galvão.
Okay.
And first round I got like Vini Magalhães,
Yeah.
Instead of winning $1,000, he won $1,000 because of me,
Yeah.
So after that, like I got hurt my knee. I hurt my knee during the fight, and I just decided like, I'm over it. Like I don't want to do jiu-jitsu anymore. So it wasn't like my plan A anymore. So I decided to stop, and I was still teaching because I still get paid to teach, but like
You didn't want to be a competitor anymore.
no, not anymore. I was done. And the gym was going through like hard problems too. So it was before breaking up, split.
Yeah.
Like everybody. So
when Kabaka went his own way.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So with the boys, and it was like a bad vibe in the gym. So I didn't like anymore. I didn't want to be anymore the environment. So I just was going to the gym, teach, and leave. I wasn't even training. And I decided to go to, in Brazil, I don't know here, but you have to do like a test to see if you are able to go to college, right? Here's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know the name. What would be the name?
SAT.
Yes. So I set up to do this test, and then I would start college, international business. I had this in my head. So, and then one tournament.
I don't even know what that would really mean.
What?
International business.
Me neither, but sounds
Yeah,
good, you know what I mean? But I mean, I like to travel and like a business. So in my head was like, I want to do this. I don't know why, but that was the degree that I was looking for. And man, I remember like one tournament show pop up, paying a car brand new as prize money for the open weight winner. And the year before, Rodolfo won that car when he was killing everyone.
What kind of car was it?
Man, like the simplest car ever. Like would be like a Prius.
Okay.
Nowadays, but in Brazil, like would be like, you know what I mean? Like a simple car. But would be kind of like equal Prius.
Yeah. Okay.
Here nowadays, let's say. And you know what? I don't even have a car. I have just like a motorcycle. So for me, I wanna.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, and you wanna have like go out with chicks and everything. So you need a car,
you need
right?
your Prius.
Yeah, you needed at least a car, and that wasn't like the most noble reason, but that what got me back into the sport. To compete.
Okay.
No, being honest, then I start training a lot because
I want that damn car.
I want that damn car. I'm gonna win the car, and that's it. Then I have like a car to go to the college.
Yeah.
That was kind of like my idea, but that brought my motivation back. And then 1 week later, World's No Gi, 2011.
Okay.
But like, I'm not going to California. I don't have any money. Then my friend Baiano, Thiago, you know Thiago, right?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I'm going to America and I'm going to buy a lot of stuff to sell here, right? Because in America, like one T-shirt, it was like cheap, and we sell like really expensive in Brazil. He used to do this a lot.
Oh, he'd bring a bunch of stuff home to Brazil.
Yeah,
okay.
to sell. And then, but you allowed just to bring 2 luggages, right? So he used to pay my ticket to bring 2 more luggages for him.
Oh, and you just get your carry-on?
Yeah.
You just bring your gi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can bring your backpack, but you bring back my luggage.
Shirts. Yeah.
And I said, okay, cool. So I was his mule, let's say like that, but of course not for drugs, but like
a shirt mule.
Yeah, exactly, But I did this a couple times for him. That was how I competed before. But I remember this one, my dad asked me like, oh, you're going to compete? You're going to California? I said, yeah, I'm going. But how are you going? How are you going to pay the ticket? Oh, yeah, Baiano is paying because I'm going to bring this stuff for him. You know what? You're not happy here. Like you're feeling like miserable. I'll pay your ticket. You just go and don't come back, because you're not happy here anyway. I felt weird,
I was going to say, that sounds harsh, but your dad was looking out for you. He knew.
Exactly. But he's like, you're not happy here. You want to come back anyway. I hear you on the phone all the time, like regretting that you left. So go there and see what's happened, If it doesn't work out, you come back. So it was kind of like weird. I felt like my dad kicked me out, but I didn't know. And I was struggling with money too. So after a long time, he told me that he didn't pay that ticket. So his name got his name went to collection in Brazil because he didn't pay.
Yeah.
But he hid that from me a long time. You know what I mean? So, but that was like I went to fight the World No Gi. I mean, I fought the competition. I won the car, the brand new car.
And then you were back.
No, then when I went to see the car, I didn't even fit in the car. The car was too small.
Did you have any pictures of that?
I have.
You gotta show me, dude.
I'll show you. And then I sold the car right away, right in the mat. The same car that gave the sponsor with the car. Hey, you wanna sell? I said, yeah, I wanna sell. Like then I did the deal on the mat, still with the medal on my chest. Then I sold the car, got the money. Right after I flew to California, I won weight and the open weight in my division. By the way, I closed out the open weight with João Assis.
Oh, okay.
It was my first world title as black belt. So then after the tournament, I said, man, I'm a black belt world champion. You know,
were you Checkmat then?
Checkmat, yeah.
Is Joao was Checkmat too?
Checkmat.
Did you guys fight or just close out?
No, we close out.
Okay.
Because we closed out 2010 too, you know?
Yeah.
But he got the title 2010. Yeah. So I wasn't world champion. Close out, friends.
Yeah.
And then 2011, we close out again. Then was my turn.
Okay.
So my name was in the first one. And then I won the open weight. The open weight, I did the finals to be me the guy. But after that, I said, man, you know what? I'm world champion. Like, it's not gi, but world champion no gi. Like, I still...
That's pretty
I'm
fucking
still in the game, you know?
Yeah.
So I decided, like, maybe I can be good at... Maybe I can be something special. At the same weekend, Lucas was, like, living a long time in America. He was without going to Brazil for years. He said, Buchecha, I need to go to Brazil. You want to cover my classes for, like, a month? I said, oh my God, yeah.
His academy in La Habra.
Yes.
Okay.
And Upland. So he went to Brazil, and I was living in his place with his car, teaching his gyms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then 1 month passed by. I met like everyone. I met his private student. That was Chris. That used Tui.
Mm-hmm.
You know him. And then Lucas came back. Then I didn't have where to live, so I was living in the gym. I didn't have a car, so I was being his driver. I was driving him everywhere. So I dropped him in his gym, drive to Corona, picking him up. So it was like I was living like that.
And I remember right before we started recording, we were talking about living in the gym. And you're like, man, a lot of guys try and make it sound like a hardship. You're like, dude, it was fun.
I mean, it was like, of course, it's not like, oh man, I'm loving to live in the gym. But I mean, it was like a part of the process, you know? And that was the beginning of California. I didn't have like a plan. I didn't have anything. I was just there, you know, teaching to survive, to train. And that was like how everything started in California. Then I met, out of nowhere, Tony called Lucas to ask Lucas to teach in UTC, Corona.
Okay. I was going to say, how did that happen? There you go.
I was in
How did Tony know Lucas?
Man, I don't know. I think Jasmine
just finding jiu-jitsu guys.
Yeah, but Lucas was the man. Everybody was going after him to teach seminars. So, and he's like, I remember, like we were sitting on the table. Lucas was on the phone. He was like looking at me. I said, Tony, look, I have this guy Buchecha. He's really good. He's gonna be the best in the world. Trust me. No, Lucas, but we want you to teach. Like, no, I know, but I teach already. I don't have time. But trust me, this guy, you guys gonna like, and he's gonna be the best one in the world. I said, don't say that. You know, I said, long story short, I went to UTC, spoke to Jasmine, spoke to Tony, and I started teaching. And then Lucas' student, private student, Chris Chewy, he had a gym. Then he invited me to teach in his gym. So I had two schools to teach.
That's right. Yeah. Because you were at UTC. It was like an every other day thing, right?
Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays.
Yep, that's right.
And then Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, if I'm not wrong, I was in Ace Jiu Jitsu. Man, that was it. The beginning of California for me. So I was teaching every day of the week in different gyms, train like crazy in the morning, living the best life. I couldn't like live with Lucas because he had a wife and nobody could live with him. So I was living in La Habra, sleeping on the mat. And then after he broke up, and then I started living with, I became his roommate. And that was the beginning, man. For me, California, training like crazy. The environment, that's when we met.
Yeah.
Like driving back and forth with
On the 91.
On the 91 with the car that Lucas gave me the car. Man, without Lucas Leite, I wouldn't be here today.
That was it a little Honda or something?
Honda CRV.
You didn't fit in that very well either, dude.
No, that one, man, that was like one of my first car, or like a Honda CRV 97. The nickname of the car was Hero. You know, Hero. So he gave me the car. He gave him the car. He gave him like a place to teach, and like Lucas was the man. You know, we call him the godfather of the team because he helped everyone. Without like Lucas, Checkmat wouldn't be what it is today because he helped me. He helps so many people. So,
well, I remember too, like you guys all would say like that Lucas is psychotic. Like train until you like couldn't move. And then everyone would be like, fuck man, I just want to go lay down. Lucas like, I'm going to go lift weights.
Yeah.
It's just a machine.
I'm going to go Monte Baldi. After the training, everybody wants to rest and sleep. He used to go up the mountain, like Monte Baldi. And he used to run.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. He has picture of that. Now he tell his students to do that. They can't.
They can't do it?
No, they can't.
I remember, dude, he was always just jacked too. You know? Fucking stud.
Believe it or not, he's still like nowadays.
Is he? Yeah.
Still ripped, 6 packs.
How old is Lucas now?
41.
Okay, so he's almost my age.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. No, what a crazy time for everybody to just, like I've told the story on the show before. I just walked into UTC because you guys ran a late class and it worked with my work schedule.
Yeah, it was 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Not the most usual time.
And because of that, it was usually a pretty small training session. I mean, on big days, what would we have? Like maybe 15 people or something?
Yeah, I would say 10, but
10,
yeah, maybe the best day 15.
The best day 15.
Yeah.
But still, man, like getting those rounds in with you, like right out of the gates.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I didn't even know. I felt like a white belt again. Yeah. And I remember, that's why I said, we talked about it last night. I'm like, Marcus, take my brown belt away and start me over at white belt. And you just laughed. Like, dude, I can't do that, man.
Oh, man, if you have the belt that you deserve, you can't feel bad because you get like, believe it or not, I'm one of the best in the world doing this right now.
Yeah.
So, but I wasn't world champion at the time. So
no, it was like 6 months before.
Yeah.
And that's the thing,
so
man.
you were at the time just getting beat up for a regular guy,
I just thought you were a guy at an academy
exactly. So,
and then you won the world title
so,
the next
you fell
7 years in a row or whatever.
No, but after I win 2012, you're like, okay, so you feel a little bit more relaxed, right?
No, but it was just a different thing. I mean, I always, people always talk about there's always that next level.
Yeah.
There wasn't the next level after you. That was like, at the time, that was the pinnacle. And dude, I don't know if you remember this. I have like a lot of stories going through my head back when we trained together all the time. There was one night that you just beat the brakes off me. Like to the point where at the end of training, I asked you, I said, Marcus, are you mad at me about something?
Oh, yeah. I remember those days.
Yeah,
but not with you, but just with everyone.
Yeah. So I asked you, like, Marcus, are you upset with me or something? Like, what's going on? Because you've never done that to me before. And you said, no, bro, that's so for the rest of your life, you will know no one can make you feel how you just felt.
No, but I wasn't trying to like teach or anything, but some days I go to the gym, I put this small challenges, like today I'm gonna try to make this guy 10 times, so
yeah.
But it's not that because of you, like because of me, like I set up like small, like what can I say, small goals, so I can go off. Because if you train and I don't have like, okay, if I see the submission I catch, good, but sometimes when I put those challenges, and I submit you 5 times and I look the clock 4 minutes, and I still like need to submit you 5 more times, So sometimes,
like there's a lot of jiu-jitsu people who listen to the podcast. So 10 submissions. No. 5 minutes.
I'm giving you an example. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now I'm not saying I don't remember if what, but
I remember. But it's just an absolute mauling.
No, but I wasn't trying to like teach you a lesson or anything, but I was.
But you did say that to me. You said, "Man, like that's feeling like the highest pressure that someone can give.
Oh
you.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I gave you my 100%.
Yeah.
I fought. I trained with you the way that I'm going to fight.
Yeah.
That's what I think I told, something like that, right?
Yep.
So I wasn't trying to prove anything. That was my 100%. I gave you my best. That was the point, you know. So
And it made me feel like a white belt again.
yeah, I mean, but
And it's funny too, because my students were talking about when you came up here, is like, dude, are you gonna roll with him? I said, we'll see what happens. You know, sometimes he rolls, sometimes maybe not. But I said, just be prepared because it's gonna be the same thing. I'm a white belt under Marcus.
No, but I wasn't like trying to make you feel bad or anything.
No, I know.
But just
Yeah.
I feel comfortable to roll like that with you and Tony because I knew you guys could handle, and
Yeah.
so, and you guys were helping me a lot because I want to train and I couldn't train because the night training I couldn't do it.
Because you had to teach.
I had to teach.
So you had to get it in with us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I was trying to find a way to train more while I could. So
Well, bro, and when
I look at you and Tony, I said,
Yeah, let's go.
let's go. You
and
guys-
dude, you told my students that a couple hours ago, and that was like super special. You said, man, like Greg had a part in me winning my first
for
world
sure,
champion
because you helped me.
because we trained all the time together. And it's like, I never looked at it like that because you're also training with Joao and Jackson Souza and Marcelo Mafra, all the monsters, right? But it's like, man, it's special for me to hear that from you.
No, but that's true. You know, like that day that you felt like, oh, you mad at me? No, I wasn't mad at all, but I was training hard and you were helping me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I didn't really care how you would feel, but
Yeah.
I was training hard, you know. So, but that was never my intention to make you feel bad, you know. But
Yeah.
after that,
No, I got it.
yeah, you
You
got
know?
it. So you never felt like, oh, he's trying to like go hard on me to.
You hit me with a double leg one time that made me throw up in my mouth.
Oh, I remember that. You told me that story.
I was like, dude.
But I remember a couple of times that you submit me, that you look at me like, oh my God, like I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, like-
and like, no, man.
You
just-
let me have this.
No, I didn't. But if you get the submission and I don't tap, I would like break my arm or pass out. So I remember like, hey, good job, man.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try to kill you after you submit.
Well, and bro, that was cool too for you to talk to the team about today. You're like, one of the things that made you really, really good is in training, you're willing to be vulnerable. You're willing to find yourself in bad positions or let people like put you in bad positions then you have to work out of.
Yeah.
And when you do that, sometimes it doesn't work out so well.
Exactly.
But if you only play your A game while you're sparring, you're not growing as much. And bro, that's that's always been a hard thing to manage because even sparring, like, I don't want to get submitted. You know what I mean? But at
Yeah.
the same time, that's kind of, you hear a lot of the guys, Gordon Ryan says that he gets submitted all the time at practice,
yeah.
you know? So it's like, there's something to that.
But being honest, now it's easy to see like people like me, like Gordon saying that. So when you hear like, oh, cool, makes sense. But back in the day, nobody like, we didn't have podcasts. We didn't have like videos of people like being open up about it, people talking about training. So it was something about me, you know, I always been like that since white belt. So I never really cared.
Yeah.
So,
Because bro, I remember it like in electric, and it wasn't like the world champion competition team, but it was like Sid and Charles and me and Joao and a handful of other guys, and it was like the vibe was like we're fighting to the death,
yeah.
and that was kind of the Checkmat vibe back then, you know.
I mean, man, Checkmat 2012 camp, that is like videos in the internet.
Fucking gnarly, dude.
Gnarly. People like killing each other. Like, and I remember every day in practice, somebody used to cry on the corner. You
Well,
know?
dude, I remember one day.
That day that you felt like you want to like, oh, you mad at me? So
Yeah.
you kind of want to cry, but people used to cry for real, like tears, you know, and black belts were champions. And like, oh my God, today was horrible. And the guy crying like 1 month before of the word. So, because that was the energy, you know, one day you get beat up and bad and you just want to quit. That's kind of the feeling.
The Checkmat competition training was usually like midday.
Yeah.
And I was always working, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't one of those guys anyways, but I was still friends with you guys, right?
Yeah.
So I was texting with Joao one day and he goes, why aren't you at work? you're always at work at this time. I said, bro, I have the day off. He goes, grab your gi. We're headed to competition training at headquarters. I was like, oh, fuck. Okay. And I went there. I don't remember if you were there or not that day, but it was like Jackson Souza, Luis Panza,
Probably was.
fucking Joao, and like every single person that put their hands on me could just molest me.
Yeah.
And I remember like, oh, I guess I'm here to just
Oh, okay.
go as hard as I can. You know?
I think Marcus wasn't mad at me at that day.
Yeah,
It was just
yeah.
yeah.
And we weren't, dude. I remember because Leo was running, and he's like, partner up, and I partnered up with Jackson Souza, and he goes, double leg takedowns, back and forth for 5 minutes, go.
Oh yeah,
That's the warm up. That's just the first part of the warm up. It's like, dude, okay, we're fucking killing ourselves today.
Yeah, like that was the vibe, you know, killing each other. But being honest, when I went to the competition, I had no doubt that I would win because I was
Because of that.
because of the hard training.
Yeah.
Wasn't healthy, you know, at all, but I was ready for anything. So, but believe it or not, 2012, the year that I won, the guy who was the best one, the guy who submitted everyone was Lucas Leite.
Yeah.
He was the nightmare. So
Dude, I remember because Lucas Leite walks around at what, 180?
180, yeah.
And fights
Middleweight.
Fights at heavyweight.
Yes.
And he says because he's always used to training with dudes like you.
Exactly.
So it's like, if all my training partners are big dudes, I'm used to fighting big dudes. Let's compete against big dudes.
He used to beat me up bad. Me, Yuri Simões, Cara de Sapato, João Assis, he used to beat João bad too. And with Lapella, same weight, used to be like a tough training. You know what I mean? Like 0-0. Nobody could sweep nobody.
Man, I trained with Lapella a lot because he did a lot. He covered for you a lot.
Yeah.
And man, I remember like there would be rounds where it's like, oh, I'm doing jiu-jitsu with this guy. Like and then he would just turn that dial up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so then I remember one guy saw Esquisito, his name Carlos, like, hey Lucas, why you don't sign up in the heavy division? Then Lucas, why? Like, man, I watch you training. You have a hard time with smaller guys like your weight, but you're killing the big guys. Sign up in the heavyweight division. He's like, no way. Man, trust me. Then he did, and he won the world's no-gi.
Yeah.
That's why, like, oh my God. Then he started signing up just for heavyweight. Because of that, that guy put this in the back of his head, and he listened to the guy.
And it changed his life, dude.
Yeah, you know, he won a lot of world titles as heavyweight.
And then then he became like world renowned for his half guard system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he was now already because he beat so many. He was world champion as middleweight already.
Yeah.
And he beat Kron Gracie. That was when a lot of people saw his name. Not a lot of people, but when you beat like one guy that's coming up, like big. So,
big name, yeah.
Yeah, big name. He was world champion and beat Kron Gracie. Then a lot of people start paying attention more on him. Then he started winning as heavyweight. So it was like everybody like, oh my God, who is this guy? Weird guy doing the half guard,
Yeah.
coyote style.
I remember one year he beat Janji.
Yeah, and he did the final the following year with him.
And then I don't know if it was the same tournament or not, but he went against Hidalgo.
And then he
And
got
bro, Hidalgo
demolished, yeah.
fucking like,
demolished.
I was watching that. I'm thinking, whoa, like
That
felt like it didn't make sense. He just smashed past that half guard. It's like,
That was 2013.
okay,
And I fought Rodolfo in the final of the open weight, but the final of the weight, I had to watch him like killing my friend.
yeah. Did that motivate you, or is this is what it is?
It is what it is, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
Of course, I want to revenge my friend, but wasn't like I'm doing my own thing. I'm not trying to get like too much emotion involved. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, if
When-
it happens, cool to look at my friend like, yeah, that's for you, but wasn't like.
When you and Hidalgo were like the two arch rivals of jiu-jitsu, you didn't get along very well, right? Wasn't there some?
No, like being honest, we did get along really well. Then we had one problem that was like something that could be easy, like fix with just like a conversation. But instead of that, we didn't have the conversation. So, you know,
Yeah.
then we avoid each other. And then when we fought in 2012,
Squashed it.
We were really talking. So I don't want to be like friends. If you're not friends, we're not friends, you know? So I didn't want to shake your hand and hug you. So that's why it was like a rough
That's right. And people were mad at you for that.
Yeah, I didn't try to shake his hand or anything, but because we were really talking to each other. So I don't want to be fake, to hug you. And if you're not talking, if you're not like really good friends, I don't want to be like the good guy just for the camera. So if you're not talking, you're not talking, like.
Yeah.
And then after the fight, we shook hands and we spoke and we really like, okay, cool, we cool. Then after that, we fought again many times, but then it was everything good. Rodolfo is one.
Didn't you become buddies and like train together and stuff once in a while?
No. He's my friend. He's my good friend. Rodolfo is one of the reasons that I went to MMA too, because my biggest rivals doing really good, fighting and doing the MMA, doing the transition really well. So he was one of the guys that I look up to and was a really motivation for me. Man, this guy's doing good. Like, I will try too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Rodolfo, I like the guy a lot. He's my good friend.
He's a fucking stud too.
Yeah. He's like doing really good in UFC. It's like, I hope he gets a title.
Me too, man. I love watching, like, obviously we're jiu-jitsu guys. So when you watch a jiu-jitsu specialist have success, like Damian Maia, Rodolfo, like you always got to pull for those guys.
Exactly. So one guy that I admired a lot is Fabricio Verdun too.
Yeah.
He won.
Bro, Fabricio Verdum is, I think he's the only guy, he has a pride belt. I think he has a pride belt, right? A Grand Prix or something?
No, I think he has GI world title,
world title, ADCC, and UFC.
And UFC.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so he has the three-peat, let's say like that, right?
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, that was something that I never seen nobody doing this yet. I think they're the only one that in the jiu-jitsu history that did.
Yeah. You never competed against him. He was already transitioned out, right?
Yes. No, we never fought.
Okay. And then like after you started making that a huge name for yourself, you started getting those super fights. And I remember I was still living in California when you fought Hodger the first time at Metamoris.
Yeah. I trained hard for that.
Bro, you were all over him.
Yeah.
Like I remember how close that armbar was?
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, dude. And like, but super exciting. But because under Metamoris rules, you submit or it's a draw.
Yeah. No points.
It's kind of weird.
I mean, back in the day, we didn't have like super fights like that and with no time and no submission and just points. I mean, no points, submission only. So it was good to be part of that. And being honest, I remember when they invited me to fight the fight. I won 2012. I was so happy. Then like 1 month later, his cousin invited me to fight against his cousin in a show that I'm not supposed to win, right? So like, of course, his cousin is the promoter. His cousin doesn't expect like a Grace to lose, right?
They want to take the current world champion and have Hodger go murk him,
Exactly. So like I felt like, oh, so that competition, that fight is like, I'm not saying it was his goal, but in how I took that was like, okay, so they want me to fight so Roger can beat me. And they say, okay, you see, Roger just didn't win because he didn't compete the worlds. So it was like
he's still the guy.
He's still the guy. It was a lot of motivation for me. So a lot of people don't accept the fight. They say, why not? It's a challenge and it's a good money, So I'll train hard. I'll fight him. So, and then I trained so hard for the fight, so hard. And I did like a really good fight. And like you said, it was close, but Roger he's the man, he escaped it. Props for him, but it was close, So then he's like, okay, so I need to train hard to fight this guy, So then we fought again. The second fight was the opposite,
I broke my heart, bro.
Yeah, but
because what year was that? Because I was already moved home.
2017.
Where did that happen? Was that down in Brazil or up here?
Brazil.
And I remember
same thing. It was Grace event, so I felt like, oh, okay. Story repeat itself, So I took it as the same thing, but I didn't train as hard.
But also, bro, like I told you, because you were my coach, I was always like, dude, Marcus is gonna murk this dude. Marcus is gonna murk that dude. And then, like, we talked before we were recording, like your fight against Rafael Lovato Jr.
Yeah.
That was a harder fight than I thought. I thought you would buzzsaw him, and I was like, oh, he's at that level,
Yeah.
or like the worm guard of Keenan Cornelius. Just, it's like, I always thought Marcus is going to murk that dude. And then when you didn't, it like hurt my heart, dude. I was like, I told you, I felt more nerves watching you compete than if I was in like the bullpen myself,
Yeah.
And that Hodger fight, that second one, just talk us through that, because that was something like, in my mind, I mean, obviously don't make excuses. It's a fight. It went the way it went, right? But at the same time, I was like, how the fuck do you get on Marcus's back like that? It just didn't make sense to me, dude.
Yeah, like being honest, the first fight I took it really serious, and he wasn't. Like he was doing camp with his family, and second fight was the opposite. He was training like crazy, and I was like training for the Worlds. I won the Worlds, and the fight was 3 weeks after the Worlds.
Okay.
So I said, you know what? I trained already for the Worlds. I'm not gonna train like crazy after the Worlds. So I just didn't really train how I supposed to. And after you win the Worlds, like remember I told you, like I feel sore for 1 month.
Yeah.
So I didn't have time to feel sore. After the Worlds I start training again. So I was kind of over it already. So I think was no excuse, but was bad timing for me. So when I got in the fight, I wasn't 100%, like I was start going down of my peak. And during the fight, I felt that, oh my God, I'm not even close where I could be. I'm not prepared. So my shot.
And then mentally, I'm sure that fucks you up, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I break during the fight, you know what I mean? I tried to shot, and he was just like sprawl and hipping, like defending really hard. And I start feeling like I'm start breaking down in the middle of the fight. Never really happens, but of course was one of the reasons that I lost. I start breaking. When you break in the middle of the fight, you lose, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
that was one of the things. So then I started doing mistakes after mistake, and he started like seeing. He did with me what I do with people, make people miss, make people do mistakes, and go on the openings and then he caught me. It was like fair, fair and square, no excuse. So I did better the first fight. He did better the second fight. So we agreed to have a third fight before the second fight, but he ended up like retiring. So the third fight never happened.
And he's done now, right?
Yeah. But I mean, even though like I don't even like want the fight anymore, Roger is my friend too. So was one guy that I look up to when I was growing up. For me, it was such a pleasure to share the mat with him, to have the opportunity to fight him 2 times. He was one of the guys that, man, he had 10 world titles. So he was the guy that was going after to beat his record. So, and then I won 11. Then after that, I remember like one time I was doing an interview, and I would think I was 6 times world champion, and people ask me like, oh, what's drive you? What motivates you? Every time after the interview, I say, yeah, I want to be the best. I want to be, I want to be the champion. But was always like empty answers, I was saying because I'm supposed to say that I want to win, but I didn't really knew what was going after. And one day in the interview, I remember I was at the gym sitting, and the guy asked me, like the reporter asked me, what's motivate you? What's drive you? And something clicked, like, and it was from my heart that I said, you know what motivates me? Because I want to do what's never been done. I want to be the only one to do something that nobody ever did. The guy, what is that? Look, I want to win the most world titles ever. I want to be the only one in the planet that say, okay, I'm the worst winner. And I did. So, and like,
that's nuts.
I won 11 world titles. I remember like when I beat it. So I was kind of like, never was something that I was going after. But 2017 or 2018, I don't remember. I think it was 18. I beat the record. So like I won 11 world titles. Man, there was something that I did it. You know, I break the record. I'm the only one in the whole planet that did this. I'm the only one. But the following year, I still want to compete. So I wasn't going after him anymore, his title or his record. Man, I was going after to be better than myself.
Yeah,
And
your
I
own
wanna,
legacy.
yeah, you know, so it wasn't about records. So like I was training and I did, and I won open weight and division. So I got 13 world titles. So I said, man, I could, you know, it wasn't just going after records or anything. I was trying to prove that I could do it. And I did. I beat my own record. So it was something amazing. So 13 world titles, and I see my name in the Guinness book was something that I never dreamed of. I'm the most golden medalist winner of like a sport, or Jiu Jitsu. So man, when I started Jiu Jitsu, I never thought I would get so far, and now I see my name in the Guinness book. It was something like crazy, you know. And I think after I won 13, it was like, okay, so now if I compete, I think we'll be for the wrong reasons, because we'll be only for ego. Because it doesn't really matter if like 13, 15, 16. You know?
Yeah.
I did what I have to do.
Dude, yeah.
And I'm cool with that. I felt my mission in Jiu-Jitsu is kind of like accomplished. You know what I mean?
Man, I don't, and who knows, right? Because there's always new guys that are better, but it seems like for somebody to have that kind of a run ever again, I don't think we'll see it, man.
Yeah, especially nowadays that it's so like, I kind of dominate the sport for like 10 years.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm 1 to 12. 11 I didn't win, but I compete.
yeah,
And my last one was 19.
Yeah, it's almost a decade.
Exactly. I pretty much won the whole decade, you know. So it was like 10 years of dominance. So I think it will be hard for somebody to beat that, especially double gold, because like,
yeah,
it's hard to win double gold in the world.
And you know what was like one of the coolest things that ever happened? At the time, it was cool. Everybody thought it was like cool that you did this. But now looking back on it is when you and Leandro Lowe finished out the bracket, and he didn't know that you were gonna submit, right, and give him the win.
Yeah, no,
man. Talk about.
Yeah, man. Like,
well, I look at that picture of him getting his hand raised now after like what a legacy he built, and then like he became your best friend. And you got to be part of that moment for him as super fucking special, man.
Man, like it's hard to talk about him still, you know. He passed away so like tragic way and so young.
It's so like senseless.
Yeah, exactly. So it's hard even to think about it. But of course, it's been like over a year, so now I can talk about. But before, just to talk about his name, I feel like want to cry, you know.
Yeah.
And
I remember you fought like the next day or something, wasn't it?
No, it was 3 weeks.
Oh, it was 3 weeks.
Yeah, but feel like next day, you know. So I remember I had like this MMA fight coming up, and everything happened. I remember like I had to go to Brazil for the funeral. I mean, I had to go because I want to go, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Because I had to see him for the last time, and it was kind of like my way to tell him bye, you know, somehow. And I left everything behind, the training. I went there. It was kind of like really like, I felt really, I don't even have words to explain, but, and right away my coaches tried to pull me out of the fight. But man, like I thought like, man, if he would be the opposite way, he would fight, because I know if I stop doing what I have to do because of him, he will be mad at me.
Yeah, he doesn't want to see that.
Exactly.
He's up above
up there,
looking down on you saying, no, let's get after
what
it.
are you doing, you piece of shit? Why you like why you stop doing your life because of me? You're not gonna change, you know, anything. So, and then I said, no, I'm gonna do it. So my coach said, no, I think you better stop. I said, man, that's what he wanted. I know. Like, if it was the other way, that's what I would want.
For him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm gonna do it. But I remember it was so emotional, you know. Who fought the next day was Preguiça.
Okay.
Preguiça fought the following day and was hard. I fought 3 weeks after, still hard, but Preguiça was like harder, you know. And I remember every day after training, when you're fighting, when you're doing sparring, you get emotional. And I remember like the emotion takes over in the middle of the training. After every training, I cry a lot. I don't know why I was, you know, like away in the middle of the training, you want to get rid of what making you feel bad, and you just go hard. And after that, you cry. And that's why I felt after the fight, you know. I just fought because I knew that what he would want. And that was the reason that I fought, you know, because I think deep inside, that was something that he would do it for me, you know. And
Yeah.
if I would be up there looking down, I wanted him to do it.
Well,
Right?
and I never met Leandro because you became real close with him 2015.
Yes,
Like that's the
exactly.
year I moved home. But from the outside looking in, it seems like he embodies like that Lucas Leitch mentality of just every single day is
It's war.
war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got along with the whole Checkmat crew, you know, with Lucas. With
Dude, Leandro was a fascinating person because jiu-jitsu is very like team driven, right? Especially with your guys' like the Brazilian culture. It seemed, oh, he's a creonche.
Yeah.
Like he goes just everywhere. It seems like Leandro, though,
he was the people's champ.
I was going to say, he had a pass to go and train with every team.
Yeah.
And everybody liked him, and no one ever had a bad thing to say about him. And that's not just because we lost him. That was his reputation the whole time.
You see his last, I think, was 22, right, when he won. Yeah, I think it was his last world championship was 2022. And the whole arena was happy. Everybody was like with a smile on the face when he won.
Because he came with the energy.
Exactly.
To go to war. You know, you talked to the team about it before we started recording. You said, you know, competition jiu-jitsu, to really like revive it and make it a fun spectator sport, it's the guys that want to go to war because that's fun to watch, as opposed to like twisting each other up and each other's gis and staying stuck to each other for 10 minutes.
Winning at all costs.
Yeah. Right? And that dude always went after it.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, I remember like what Leo used to tell us. I said, man, you guys going to be remembered by the way that you guys fight, not just by the titles that you win. So go there and do the job done. But
do what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, don't try just win at all costs. And I think that's true because some guys nowadays, they win, but people don't even talk their name because that's not exciting. And they don't bring attention to people. So
no, and it's another thing we talked about last night, but Joao said that to me last time we hung out. He's like, man, the competition vibe while I lived in California, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, it's never been like that since, dude.
Oh, yeah. People nowadays, the camp, I was talking to Panza the other day. Panza went to the camp and said, man, that's not even close what we had, you know. That's no more that vibe.
You think it's because a lot of people are getting pulled into the no-gi game now, that the gi competition isn't bringing the same level of competitors, or just kind of just the era was what it was?
I think it was like a really good group of people that we were like really good friends, and everybody wanted to go hard at all costs. So everybody tried to kill each other.
But I remember, like, dude, even outside of Checkmat, you had like, you know, Joao Gabriel Rocha, Andre Galvao. Like, there's a lot of dudes that from all the different teams, Rodolfo, that just wanted to get after it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but we had a lot of guys in the same team. So these guys were like one team, you know what I mean? We had like 10 guys with the same vibe. And being honest, nowadays, I think that new generation thing, everybody being like weak, everybody being so soft, everybody like, no, being honest, it reflects on the new generation. So if you go too hard, like, oh no, this guy's going too hard with me, he hurt my feelings. So we have this a lot nowadays on the mat. So I see people complain, the black belts, the old school guys complain, but if they go hard on the student cry and the student like complain, you know what I mean? So people are being weak nowadays, not just like physically,
Yeah.
but like
Emotionally.
like. And if you want to get good in this game, you can't be like weak emotionally. Like you have a better be ready, because if the whole crowd is like booing you or like talking shit to you, so what you gonna do? You're gonna cry.
Yeah.
So you have to go through that. So, oh, I don't like this guy, I'm not gonna train with this guy. Man, you don't like this guy, perfect opportunity for you to kick his ass every day.
Yeah.
Who else you gonna do that? And now in the gym, like, oh no, this guy don't roll with this guy, that guy don't roll with this guy, and this guy doesn't roll. So you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So you have
weird.
to, man, like I remember Lucas, like, hey, if you say, hey Lucas, you know what? Like I just fought with Buchecha, we're not talking, so can you not put us to roll? Lucas, oh yeah, of course. Okay, guys, today I'm gonna partner up. Greg, you and Buchecha first round.
Yeah, fuck, take that shit out
Exactly,
of the
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no, Lucas used to love that. So we don't have this like, oh no, I don't go road, I don't talk with this guy, I don't like him. Cool. First round, you and him.
Yeah.
First round, because you're fresh and he's fresh. So I know it's gonna be hard. So that was the vibe back in the day. Nowadays, everybody's like, oh no, I don't talk with this guy. Okay, cool. So don't roll with him. No, you know what I mean? So I think that bad vibe, that the weak, like the society kind of like trying to weaker the society is like reflect even the sport. So that's something that I see. I say, oh my God, it's happening even like in my team, you know what I mean?
Well, next time you're up here, I want you to kick the shit out of all my tough young dudes. See if we can make them cry.
My pleasure. I'll do it, you know. Like I was, the guy was like, oh, you were being nice with me. I said, man, no, man. I was really, I don't care about being nice or not. I was just showing the technique, you know. So, oh no, I thought it was like it was funny, you know. Like, I don't care about the feelings. That I don't care about your feelings. That's what I told him. He's like,
everyone got a chuckle, and you're like, no, I'm serious.
Yeah,
like I'm cool with you, but.
Yeah, I mean, I'm showing the technique. I don't need to be like, oh, did I hurt you?
Yeah.
I was.
You know what's funny? He told me too. He goes, man, the way that you like pull both arms in at the same time, he goes, I was ready to tap from that, but I knew the arm bar wasn't complete yet, so I couldn't tap. And he's like, that's a fucking scary place to be in.
No, but it was funny.
He's a good uke, man. Like I don't. Uke, the guy that I use to show, I have 3 guys that are my go-tos.
Yeah.
Because you know how people have to be able to they can't be a fish, but they can't try and resist to
good partner, right?
Yeah, good partner. And I got a handful of blue belts that are fucking rad ukes, and Jake's one of them, man.
Oh yeah. He was good guy to show the technique.
It's funny. I always say too, because I'm like I don't care that you decide to have long hair. That's your problem. It's getting ripped out.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't do that to girls, but if guys have long hair, that's your problem.
I mean, I'm with you on that, but I don't want to be that guy in the middle of the seminar.
No, I know.
If in training,
if you're rolling,
I don't care.
That's your fucking hair.
Exactly, but doing the technique, I didn't.
I know. Yeah,
there was no need to. But I agree with you. I don't care about his hair or his feelings.
Yeah, Jake, we don't care about your hair or your feelings. Yeah. So then, man, like you had the most epic, legendary run in jiu-jitsu history. What made you motivated to go to ONE FC and pursue MMA? Because I remember you talked about MMA off and on ever since I met you. There was something in the back of your mind.
I was against, right?
Yeah, you went back and forth on it, remember? And I remember even Joao was like...
Joao was one guy that said, don't do it.
Yeah, he's like, man, Marcus is the best grappler in the world. He doesn't need MMA, you know? Yeah. And you didn't need it. But was it, I guess, just what made you motivated to try that side of combat sport? Yeah,
like I told you, like, when I won 13 world titles, it was something that drive me. And I didn't, so I felt like my mission in jiu-jitsu was done, let's say like that. But I'm not ready to quit, you know. I'm not ready to finish my competitor career. So I still have the fire on me, but not to train every day for the same thing. Gi, to go to the worlds and fight again. And I had this in my head that a real fighter need to test himself with the gi, no gi, and MMA. So that's why I said like I respect so much Verdun because he won.
Yeah.
So I won 13 world titles with the gi. So I'm the only one that did it. So many titles. I won 2 ADCC. I won like a couple like world no gi too, but what I really count is like the ADCC. So I have 2 major world titles and no gi. And now I always had in my head that no matter what, I'm gonna do at least one fight MMA. That's my goal. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna do one fight. And then I decided to fight. I did a agreement, like a contract, 6 fight. So I said, you know what? Let's see how the first fight goes. If I like, I keep it going.
Was your first fight with one?
Yes.
Okay.
So no amateur.
Yeah, you just got.
So I went straight to the big dogs, you know, and
That's crazy.
I
dude.
did.
Because even dudes that make transitions as other high level wrestlers or jiu-jitsu guys, more often than not, you're having some kind of onboarding process with some amateur fights or whatnot.
Yeah, a lot of people they do like amateurs, but I knew
That may have been unfair though, because like you're a different thing, dude.
You know what? For me, it would be hard to fight. It's hard for like a guy like me to fight. The first fight is hard, so I knew. And sometimes like amateur fight, you just fight, but with the shin pads. You know what I mean? So it's like it's the same thing, you know. No, not gay, but if you get kicked in the head, you're gonna go down anyway. So I don't want to get kicked in the head. So you know what? Let's go straight to the big thing. And no, I'm not gonna do amateur, and I'm not young. I don't have like much time, so I just go straight. So I start training, and I remember the feeling that I had was the same one that I had when I got the black belt, 2010. Like, oh, I want to get better. I want to be good at it. So I start training like I have motivation again. So when I start to train MMA, I felt all the motivation back that I didn't have for jiu-jitsu anymore.
Oh, that's cool.
So that was like something that I wake up every day and go to the gym like, okay, cool, I want to learn. So yesterday I did good. So Tuesday I did the sparring really good. Let's see how I'm going to do Thursday. So the sparring is the most fun training for me. People don't like, but for me, it's like rolling jiu-jitsu, you know?
Yeah.
Like shake hands and go. For me, the sparring is the real fight. So I love sparring.
Is your approach to MMA, are you always looking to use your jiu-jitsu because it's top of the food chain? Or have you fallen in love with striking, or are you just like, I need to learn how to apply jiu-jitsu in an MMA scenario?
No, I mean, people say, oh no, yeah, your jiu-jitsu is so good. Why you don't take the guy down and use their jiu-jitsu? That's my goal, always.
Yeah, okay.
But sometimes it's hard. Like my last fight, I shot a lot of times. I couldn't get my opponent down, and took me a while to be able to take him down, to make him tired. So it's all strategy, you know. Of course, I want to take my opponent down and submit him. But sometimes when to do it, people think that, okay, just double leg and do it. Yeah,
yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? I train with like the best guys. I train with like a lot of guys that fight in Bellator, PFL, UFC. Man, imagine.
And what did you say your wrestling coach's name is again?
Stevie Moko.
Who's just the gnarliest dude you've ever rolled with.
Yeah, like he kills everyone, you know. I train with this guy. How come I'm going to take this guy down? And so it doesn't happen, you know. So I train with these guys. So, man, I know if I shoot, I'm not going to take him down. So what I have to do? I have to strike.
Yeah.
So you need to learn. Not that I want to be a striker, but you need to be comfortable on the feet. You need to know how to walk in the cage. You need to feel the space to be the center of the. So it's like people think that's just a fight. It's not. It's about like strategy, and It's about a lot of about thinking, and it's kind of like jiu-jitsu, you know. It's not just, it's like a chess game. So who does the best choices and move the best pieces gonna get more chances. So
What would you rate your striking at after like really diving in? Like a purple belt or brown belt striker?
oh, man.
Or are you a 2-stripe white belt?
Let's say a blue belt.
Blue belt striker?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm using my striking just to,
Yeah. Like if you're a blue belt striker with 13-time world champion jiu-jitsu.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm never gonna change like 20 years of jiu-jitsu for over like
Good.
3-4 years of
Well, bro,
striking.
I remember there was a couple Damian Maya fights where like you could tell he wanted, like, I've been doing a lot of striking and I want to do my striking, you know? And I'm like yelling at my television, like, do your jujitsu, you know?
Yeah, but he was the guy that, of course, he did like, sometimes he tried to just strike and he got knocked out. But he was the one that used perfect
Oh, dude, I know.
jiu-jitsu, you know. I wish I can apply my jiu-jitsu like he did.
Remember when he threw Chael Sonnen and did a mounted triangle?
That was,
and like Chael Sonnen is a phenomenal grappler.
He fought like the best grapplers and he just killed the guys, you know. He like Ben Askren.
Yeah.
Ben Askren is a phenomenal grappler and he like just.
Did you hear what Frank Mir said about Damian Maya?
No.
He said, I am a UFC champion and a heavyweight champion and a black belt in jiu-jitsu. And I just rolled with Damian Maya. And that guy could hold me down and have sex with me if he wanted to.
Oh, really? I didn't. That's funny, but I never.
Have you ever rolled with Damian Maya?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a couple of times we went to his gym in Brazil and we roll. He was cutting weight, so he didn't want to roll
like
too
death
much
rounds.
with me.
Yeah.
Because he was cutting weight, so he was like too light, and he had like UFC fights coming up. So when you have like this stage, you need to be smart, and we never roll, so he doesn't know if I go crazy or not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he doesn't know what version he was
yeah
getting.
You know what I mean? But of course after we roll, he knows that I know how to roll and I'm not gonna like jump on crazy and hurting his knee or anything. So after that I think we roll like only one more time. But
man, I attended one of his seminars years ago now. And one thing that he said he likes to do is put the heels of his feet like on your hip bone and then the toes on the ground like this. So you can squeeze in with your heels.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's for me, I have a hard time attending a seminar and learning like 30 moves. If I just take one little piece, that's a win for me. You know?
But I think that's for everyone.
Yeah. And the seminar you taught today was exactly like the style that I like to consume jiu-jitsu. It's not over the top in like volume, but it's little pieces of like nuggets that will change your game.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, you know, like people think that you go to the seminar and you're gonna see 10 positions, and not 10, but like today we probably cover like 6 or 7 moves. And okay, you're gonna learn that 6-7 moves. If you don't drill every day, you're not gonna like really get it. But like 1 detail, 2 details, if you really get it and start doing, like you said, this one about Damien, it's a win-win situation, you know. Like, so sometimes I go to seminars and I see one thing change my.
Yeah, it's worth your time.
Yeah, you know, so it's worth. So that's why when I go to the seminar, before I used to try like, when I start teaching, like, oh, you want to like impress people, you know, you want to show crazy moves. But at the end of the day, you just, like I said, jiu-jitsu needs to be simple and effective. So that's why nowadays I try to explain in a simple way. And I saw a lot of white belts and I saw a lot of black belts today on the mat. But everybody was doing the position. Of course, the white belts were getting less details, but so I don't want to throw like so many details, because I could talk like way more about details, but at the end of the day, people will get confused. So I try, always I'm learning how to do it, you know, how to teach and to get the information on there in the easiest way possible. But I was watching, so everybody was able to do it, everything. So that's why like, oh, cool. Like, that's make me feel good after the class.
No, I thought it was super cool, especially when like as we were leading into it, a couple people asked like, dude, what are we working today? And you're like, we're just going to see what the team needs. And then we're just going to work that.
Yeah,
We'll just kind of figure it out and go and take the seminar in the direction that the team needs. And to me, that tells me like you're a legitimate master of jiu-jitsu, because like anyone can have like a playbook in their head. We're going to do this, 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 and this. Right. But for you to just be like, let's just kind of feel it out, ask questions, and the seminar will go where it needs to go.
Yeah, I think, thank you, man, for that. Like, by the way, but I think that was true, like the only thing, like if we start with sweep, we're probably going to stay the whole time on bottom game. Right?
Yeah.
But we start with the passing game. So we end up like covering like mount, covering like submissions, covering like passes, and we cover like, but pretty much all the positions was because of the questions. So that's how I like to do it. I don't stress. Before I used to stress, I'm going to show this, I'm going to show that. But people ask like, okay.
I still do that.
But I mean, it's different when you're teaching like classes.
No, I'm saying like because there's times I'm asked to like, hey, you want to teach here or do a seminar there? And it's like, since I don't do that very often, I feel like, I want to make sure that I present something very good.
But I have this in my head.
Of course.
If nobody asks me anything, I know what I'm going to show.
Of course.
But I like better when people ask, you know what I mean? But I have this playbook in my head too. When I start, okay, I'm going to start this, kind of like have like a sequence. And then if nobody asks anything, that's what I'm going to show. I have this. But then people start asking a lot of people that in the middle of the seminar, you think, instead of this one, I could show this one because that guy is asking the same thing. That guy is asking. So I think I could answer all three person with showing this move. So why not change?
Yeah.
Right. That's why but I have this playbook. But if everybody is asking like about like this, why not answer the questions about everyone with a move for the whole class?
Yeah.
That's how I like to change the direction of the class. And then from there, makes it easier because then questions start showing up. And
like, how do I get their elbow off?
Exactly.
And bro, for me, that was like an aha moment. How you push the elbow down and then
out. Yeah.
Because you know how like when we're doing Toriando pass?
Yes.
Away and then circle the leg.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Same concept, but I never thought about using that concept on a shoulder.
Oh, yeah. You mean to make the leg weaker, circle, right?
You make the leg weaker.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that with passing ever since I met you. And then today you're like, I do that on the arm too. I'm like, why the fuck have I never thought about that?
Yeah.
Because I try and like always trying to muscle and force it.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, push it down and circle.
Like different angles, right?
Yeah.
So I have the same feeling when I own the mat with Leo.
Bro,
like, how I never thought about this.
Leo came up here and taught a seminar, and the whole seminar was a grip on the pant leg and a grip on the knee and isolating bottom leg.
And
he's like, if you isolate bottom leg,
you can't do anything.
Their game is killed. And he talked about that position for 2 hours, which to people that aren't jiu-jitsu people, that probably sounds boring as fuck. Yeah. But to everybody in the room, our minds were blown.
Yeah, no, I know because I have this. Exactly, I feel like a white belt. When I'm on the mat with Leo, he's teaching like, how come I never thought about this? Like I'm sucking jiu-jitsu.
I met my goal of being the best ever, but I still feel like I suck.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like how I never thought, like I'm not intelligent enough. Like how come I never thought it's so easy? And that's good because when I'm staying on the mat, and man, even for MMA, every sparring session that I do, I film and I send to Leo. Oh. And he's like, he do voice over the video. I think you should do this. You should do that. You should do that. Blah blah blah. And then I watch the video. Say, okay, cool. Then the next sparring, because we don't live in the same state.
Yeah.
So that's the way that he helped me. With the.
And he's working for one now too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see him, like, is he in your corner usually? And
no, because he works, so he's not allowed.
Conflict of interest.
Yeah, exactly. But my first and my second MMA fight, he was in my corner.
Okay.
He didn't do the camp with me. I mean, he was 1 week in Florida, but that's my master. That's my coach. That's the guy I believe. And if I need to have somebody, man, it's him.
Yeah.
So he went there. I won 2 submissions. he knows me so well because of the jiu-jitsu. So I just felt bad because one got like a really good person on the staff, but I lost my coach. You know, I mean, I lost my corner.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a funny way to say it, but man, I'm happy for him. He's doing great in one championship. He's taking the level of the grappling of the organization to another level, and he helps me how he can, but he's just not in my corner. You know what I mean? But Leo is my master. Like today, I'm going to fly to California to train with him the whole week. Actually.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Yeah. So.
Well, bro, we got to get out of here pretty quick. We are almost at hour and 40 minutes. We got to get you to the airport and get you down to training with Leo. What's next, I guess? Let's close it out with what you think's next.
Yeah, like I'm kind of guy that I didn't think too much about tomorrow. So my life was just thinking about today. And I never really had like many plans. I remember we used to like, what are you gonna do now? Like, I don't know, you know. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm kind of still the same guy. I don't really plan, but one thing for sure is I still want to compete and still want to fight. So I want to be in that competition life for a couple more years. So I'm still 34. I'm still healthy. Of course, my body is not the same, but I'm still really healthy, and I still had a lot of let's say, a long way to go still. And I'm not thinking to retire anytime soon. So I think you guys are going to hear my name a lot in the competition.
Yeah,
so, especially MMA, maybe.
Yeah.
Some super fighting jiu-jitsu too, but the goal is still MMA.
Well, once jiu-jitsu starts having money in it again. I shouldn't say again.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about the money. Otherwise, like, I wouldn't be like fighting jiu-jitsu, but it's about like
some other feathers in your legacy cap.
I mean, it's something that makes me feel alive.
I see. So yeah, it's more for you than just to get out there and do it.
Exactly. It's not just about money. Of course, money, it's good. We need, but always when I do something, I remember one of the guys asking, "Oh, what motivates you?" Right? So, no, like motivation is something that we can't rely on motivation, right? It's not every day that you wake up like today, oh my God, I'm gonna run, I'm gonna do this. Like, it's not every day that you wake up motivated, but every day you need to have like the discipline. So you can't rely just in the motivation because a lot of times you're not gonna have it. So, but you have to be disciplined, you know, like I slept here. When you woke up, you saw, oh, you didn't use the bed. No, like I used, but I made the bed, you know, because
I know.
That's something that I do it. I don't want to do it the bed every day, but you know, like I read the book, the
Make Your Bed by the SEAL, Navy SEAL.
And I really like forgot his name.
I don't remember his name either.
Admiral, I forgot I forgot his name, but I read the book and I think it's about that, you know, like this discipline is doing every day. So even when I don't want to like do it, I don't want to go to the gym to train, but I still go because like, oh, today I'm not motivated to train. So when you going to be, you know what I mean? So, but the discipline is something that helps me a lot. But because I'm disciplined, I always motivated to fight. And so that's why I always keep like this, you know, like training always when I'm like, I came here to East Coast. Okay, why not go to train with the guys are training for the world. So now is the toughest train that
you're going to hop in.
So I'm going to hop in because I know everybody going to try to kill me. So I'm going to have good training, you know? So that's one of the reasons that I'm going to stay 1 week there. And plus I'm going to see my friends and that's it. That's the mindset right now. That's what motivates me. I want to compete. I want to fight. And I want to feel alive. That's what still drives me, you know.
Fuck yeah. Well, thank you for coming up. Thank you for taking the time to do this. I know we crammed a lot in a short amount of time. I think you were here for 18 hours. But it's a long time coming, and I'm happy that we finally made this happen. And now that you came up, you felt the vibe of the team, you enjoyed yourself. anytime you want to come up, let me know, man.
No, for sure, man.
You're welcome here on a minute's notice anytime, bro.
Thank you very much. I just would like to say for you again, congratulations for the gym. Congratulations for the podcast. Like I see some of the episodes. Rafael Chavez, he listened a lot to some of the episodes too. So congrats for the show as well. And it was good, man. And I want to be part of the Geese and Guns for sure. Next one, I want to be down.
Bro, we'll make that happen.
100%.
But let's not tell anybody.
What?
Let's not, if you decide that you want to do one of them, we'll keep that on the down low, and then
I'm down.
Everyone will walk in and be like, hey, he's attending as a student. He just so happens to be the best that's ever done it. So
I'm gonna teach João, they're gonna say I came to teaching him how to shoot. He's gonna die if I say that. No, he's doing good. I know. Good, he's good. He's good. One time we went together, he thinks that he's G.I. Joe. He goes
dude.
Everything. He really like, then João, you came well prepared.
No, João jumped in on shooting.
No, I know. He's really good. I remember one time we went to shoot with you, remember?
Yeah.
And he did really good.
So, all right. Until next time, man.
All right, man.